Portions of this episode of Habitat Academy were recorded during local adherence of the coronavirus guidelines and while Lake County students were on an extended break from school.
This is what happens when Construction Academy students from Leesburg High School come together with Habitat for Humanity of Lake and Sumter County, construction professionals, and the city of Leesburg for one extraordinary hands-on experience, together building a dream home for one well-deserving family. This is Habitat Academy. With the dry-in celebration behind them, the Leesburg High Construction Academy students, volunteers, and professionals have been hard at work, moving the home closer to completion. Host Don Magruder speaks with Jimmy Adams, Division Manager of Electric Services Incorporated, about his role and what ESI has brought to this project.
Well, Don, my participation on the job was to coordinate the materials, the suppliers, the people, the manpower, to come in and rough in the electrical wiring, prepare for what we're fixing to do now, which is the trim out.
One of the challenges you had here with the Habitat Academy is that codes do not allow students to actually perform electrical work, but they can observe, I understand.
Yeah, so they can't actually perform any of the wiring, the terminations, or anything of that nature, but what they can do is they can put the trim plates on, they can install lamps inside the fixtures, those kind of things, the things that an average homeowner would be able to do.
Tell us about this panel we have here, Jimmy.
Yeah, this is a 150 amp main panel. It's just a single phase panel like you'd see on any normal home. And the utility provider, City of Leesburg, will actually be bringing the underground utility in whenever we call and tell them we're ready.
This is the main power source, but there's an interior power panel. Tell us about how that interior power panel is set up.
It's going to be loaded with breakers, arc fault circuit interrupters actually. They're going to protect the occupants from, in the event that a cord gets frayed or something, it doesn't start arcing and cause a fire.
I understand you actually added a few upgrades to the home, didn't you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, we did. We actually used a couple of special boxes inside for ceiling fans to make sure at the peak, because of the architectural design, that fixture sits center of the space, as well as increase the size of some of the wire.
How important is it for ESI to work on this project?
It's extremely important. Not only do we have the opportunity to give back, but we're helping the students. We're kind of building the future leaders for the area.
COVID-19 guidelines caused disruptions in many industries, but the volunteers and construction professionals at the home on North 12th Street in downtown Leesburg continued to push through to ensure that the home is completed by the confirmed date. The cabinets have arrived, and room and closet doors are installed. The interior is starting to take shape.
These are not inexpensive cabinets. These are high quality cabinets. Let's discuss some of the features on these cabinets.
We want to put a cabinet in that's durable, that's going to last, so that's why we went with the all wood construction.
Barry, how's it been to teach Altric to be a cabinet installer?
It's been awesome. It's good to have a young man out here over spring break. He's here on his own time.
Tell us about some of the skill sets you're teaching Altric as he's installing these cabinets.
We want to make sure that the cabinet is level along the wall, and then once that is leveled, we put these screws in to anchor it into the framing. Then we take and make sure that this is leveled across this way. This is a one-piece countertop, so it's an actual L. So making sure that it's level both directions. When we lay this countertop in, it should sit totally flat.
Don and Barry continue to talk about the progress as they move into the master bedroom to discuss the interior doors used throughout the home.
Now the door is manufactured by Masonite, one of the leading providers of interior doors in America. This is a 6-panel door with textured trim, wood grain trim, and the frame and the casing that was hung at the RoMac Building Supply door shop.
This door is what they call a split jamb door. So the first thing that we do is you normally start with the hinge side of the door.
Right.
Making sure that it is plumb. The most important part to me is when you close this door, that this side of the door rests evenly the whole way along this strike. So when I close this door, it's going to seat perfect against this.
One thing I found out right now, You know how to install doors, and I think you've just taught every kid at Habitat Academy how to install doors. Great job. The interior doors and trim look fantastic.
Thank you.
During their spring break, many of the students still showed up at the job site to get their hands dirty, but only one brought his mother, knowing, in a crazy twist of fate, she had been to this address before.
It was a wonderful feeling when I heard that he was over here at 107 North 12th Street. It was unbelievable. I thought, what a nice thing that Habitat for Humanity is doing for the community. And it was very exciting that I had lived here before and that my son was working here. It was like ironic, you know, really. He loves the construction part of everything. I think he's going towards the painting now. And I used to be a painter myself. We lived here starting of 1995, and we were here for 8 years. My husband had ran a reality check. We had rented out rooms for alcoholics. We did some recovery for them. It wasn't a program, it was just where they have meetings at, and so where recovering alcoholics could go. My daughter is coming here to do a cleaning after they're done. She has Way Too Bright Cleaning Company, and I also work with her also. That kind of makes it exciting too.
When we return, we take you to Leesburg High School, where we speak with Bryan Russ, the Leesburg Construction Academy teacher, about his not one, not two, but 3 near-death experiences that led to his job at the school. And Amanda Kelley stops by the job site, where she gives the Dream Team tips on painting the interior of the home.
Now what we want to look for is what we call boogers, and I know that's a funny word.
There's still so much more to be done. Stay tuned. You're watching Habitat Academy. Welcome back to Habitat Academy. Bryan Russ, the Leesburg Construction Academy teacher, opens up about the legacy he hopes to leave and how his 3 near-death experiences, along with one former and very persistent teacher of his, led to him accepting this unique position.
See, I already had cancer, was on chemo, and so I'm what they call immunocompromised. And I had sepsis-induced pneumonia to the point, and the respiratory therapist was like, I've been doing this 20 years. She's like, I've never seen it come on that fast, that strong.
Russ's doctors explained to him that they would need to medically induce a coma in order to treat his condition and give him the best chance at survival.
My kids all came in right before I went under, and they all had to say goodbye to Dad, essentially. You know, your dad might not wake up. I mean, I don't know how they worded it, but they knew, they were looking at me, knew it wasn't good. So a week later, I woke up, and it's like a blink of an eye to me. And then the recovery was like 6 to 8 months, and so I lost my job. And so I started looking for where I was going to go next, and I started in roofing after Hurricane Irma, and then fell. That was great, but then I fell and broke my neck and my back off of a 2nd-story roof. So off the 2nd floor, head first onto the 1st floor roof, a concrete tile roof, then slid down about 15 feet and then fell another 10 to the ground. I recovered from that, so it'd been a couple, 2-3 years of just like, man, I can't get a break. I have a teacher that I had here at Leesburg High School, Kimberly Brown, who's in the county now. She liked me and saw something great in me. So years later, she says, I got a place for him if he ever wants to come back or whatever. And I was like, I can't afford to be a teacher. That sounds cool, but I can't do it. You know, I'm really flattered. I was like, wow, I didn't realize how much she liked me in high school. And I was a hard kid to like in high school. It's for a teacher, you know. So after she called about Leesburg, it was like 2 or 3 days later, I realized I was still thinking about it. And I was like, that's when I was like, oh, dang it. What if I'm kind of supposed to do this? This is like, I don't know, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it. What if this is just what I'm supposed to do? You know what I mean? Most people, I think it's once. After 3 times of nearly dying, I kind of felt like, man, I really want to make more money, but I want to be that teacher that one day down the road, they're like, you made a difference. Like, I'm successful because of something you said to me, or, you know, nobody believed in me till you did. I like getting through to the kids that have quit trying to get along with people, or the tough nuts to crack. That kid who just says, wait a second, maybe this guy really does care. It's seeing kids go from on the path to nowhere to thinking, maybe I could be successful. I'm building students. and construction is my tool. That's kind of how I look at my role and my job and what I'm here to do, period.
Engineered vinyl planks, or EVP as they are commonly known, are a type of waterproof flooring that looks like wood. This popular and affordable alternative requires a lot less maintenance and is easy to install. Alan Stewart, CEO of the Floor Shop, talks with Don about the beautiful EVP flooring used throughout the home.
Mr. Stewart, this is a very durable floor. Tell us what type of flooring we have here.
Well, this product is in a product category relatively new. It's called EVP. And it is a pure vinyl product. There is nothing in it that water will affect. It will not buckle, warp, and it has a wear surface on it that would probably be good for about 20 years of performance.
And I like the back. Tell us about the uniqueness of this back, because this is new technology.
Absolutely, and typically in the past, because of the dampness in the slabs, you have to put a moisture barrier cushion down first and lay this on a type of product like this on top of it. But with the new EVP product, you lay it directly on the slab, no need for any sort of cushions.
So basically it just all snaps and the floor is not glued down, it floats.
That's right.
So that it will not gap or
That's
anything.
right, they're all tongue and groove. You snap them together, you leave an expansion joint around the edges that your baseboard will sit down on top of.
This floor should last 20 years or better.
Absolutely, it'll probably last longer than the person wants to see it.
Painting is one of those skills you either love or hate. Either you're good at it or you're not. Amanda Kelley of Kelley Painting Services stopped by to share some tips and to scout out which members of the Dream Team were going to best embrace the brush.
Turn around, show them your shirts. Let's get to work.
All right.
So what's a cut-in?
A cut-in, yeah, that's a good question. So a cut-in is when we cut from the ceiling to the wall, and we typically use a 2.5-inch brush for that. And the reason we do that, that's a really specialized sort of line. If the drywall isn't really good, it's really difficult to do that. But on these particular walls, when you have a nice straight line, you get a nice angled 2.5-inch brush, and you're gonna just take that brush and go all the way along that line.
We already did the primer and the first coat. Why are we putting a second coat?
Well, typically on new drywall, we use a primer because the drywall is so dry, but it gets really dusty. So the first coat as the primer will really seal that in and make for good adhesion for the top coat to go on. And the first coat is always gonna soak in again. So this is gonna be your final coat. What we're gonna do now is you're gonna go ahead and start rolling, and I'm gonna kind of just guide you through that. So let's go, let's put it in the bucket and let's do it. All right, so you're gonna take nice good pass all the way up and then come back down, but just make a pass, like when you come back down, you wanna come over just a tiny bit, like leave 4 inches and then come down so you have what we call an overlap and a wet edge. That's what we call a wet edge. Now come on all the way down. And if you see at the bottom, see how you got some drips and stuff there? You just wanna kinda come back and hit all those and take it one pass back up. There you go.
On the season finale of Habitat Academy, we're down to the wire and the finishing touches are being completed. Volunteers and the Leesburg Construction Academy teacher reflect on their experience, and we speak with a representative from UF Health Central Florida about how homeownership can impact health and well-being.
One of our priorities is improving the mental health of our community because there's a connection with homelessness.
And finally, we reveal the homeowner of the Habitat Academy house and share her story.
It looks amazing. You guys have completely shocked me.
We're building towards something big, so join us for the final episode of this season's Habitat Academy. Production support for Habitat Academy is provided by RoMac Building Supply, Habitat for Humanity of Lake and Sumter County, Central Florida Health, the City of Leesburg, and is a production of Red Apples Media.